Hello friends, this video on chemistry in everyday life part 16 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. Some numericals. Sleeping pills are recommended by doctor to patients suffering from sleeplessness, but it is not advisable to take it without consultation. See, the first thing is most of the drugs, if you take in higher dose, right? High dose, any drug you take high dose, that may be a poison for you. Because most of the drugs has a killing effect inside your body. It will kill some bacteria, it will kill some enzymes. They have a killing effect. So if you take in high dose, it can be poison for you. Correct. Also, doctor is the correct person who will decide how much dose you have to take. So it has to be taken with the consultation of doctor. Else it may be a poison for you. The next is with reference to the classification has the statement. Which classification has the statement? Manitidine is the antacid. When we talk about antacids are the one who removes acidity, right? So if you're talking about the removes acidity part, this is nothing but a pharmacological effect. Correct? Removing acidity, removing fever, right? Removing pain. These are all pharmacological effects. So if you're talking about saying that this particular medicine is antacid, that means you are classifying based on the pharmacological effect. The next is, why do we need artificial sweetening agent? See, we have discussed this, the natural sweetening agent, right? The natural sweetener, for example, sucrose, has one problem. That is, it adds calorie, right? So for diabetic patient, this is not good. Also for fat people, this is not good. So this artificial sweetening agent, they are sweet, but they don't add calorie. In this type of non-ionic detergent, we have to find the hydrophilic and hydrophobic part. So this part, the whole part here on the right is my hydrophilic part. And this part on the left is my hydrophobic part. And this is all hydrocarbons. This will be hydrophobic, but this will stick to dust, and this will be hydrophilic because of the hydrogen bonds. What are the need to classify drugs in different ways? See, to understand it better, we need to classify. Anything to understand better, we need to classify. Because the more you classify, the more better you understand. And there are different ways we've explained to classify a drug based on the pharmacological effect, based on the drug action, based on the chemical structure, and also based on the molecular target. We have discussed this. The next is we would explain the term target molecules. See, we have seen that these drugs, they target some macromolecules, right? For example, they target carbohydrates. Some also targets proteins. In proteins, we discussed this enzymes, and we also discussed this receptors. Right? They target receptors. They also target lipids. They can also target nucleic acids. So these are my macromolecules inside the body. These medicines, they target some of these macromolecules. To understand the medicine better, it's good to classify them as a drug target and to know which all macromolecules it is targeting. The next question is, name the macromolecules that are chosen as drug target. I just explained the carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, and nucleic acids. In proteins, we have enzymes and receptors that are the macromolecules that are drug target. Next is, why should not medicine be taken without consulting doctor? We just explained, if you take high doses of any medicine, it can be poisonous because medicine generally has a killing effect, right? So also improper medicine, if you take, that can be harmful too, correct? Because medicine generally binds to more than one receptors. So if you are taking medicine for some X scenario, it may impact some other Y scenario also, because the same medicine may target some other receptors. So doctor has to be consulted. Correct. Next is what is chemotherapy. As I told, chemo means medicine, therapy means therapy, that is diagnosis, prevention and treatment of a disease. So use of chemical for therapeutic effect, that is diagnosis, prevention and treatment of disease, is called chemotherapy. Right? So you are ill, you need some medicine, and you are fine, that is chemotherapy. What forces are involved in holding the drugs to active site? This is my enzyme. This is my active site. Right? So what force hold these drugs? This is my drugs in the red. So these drugs are held by, we have discussed this, ionic bond is one, hydrogen bond is one, dipole-dipole interaction is also one force, and van der Waals force. So multiple forces act and they bind this drugs to this active site. The next is, while antacids and antiallergic drugs interfere with the function of histamine, they don't interfere with each other function. They are saying that antacid and anti-allergy. So if you take these drugs, they won't interfere with each other. But both of these interfere with antihistamines. Why? See, first let's understand. Let's understand what they do. See, antacid, for example, I have change color. See, antacids can be NaSCO3 or AlOH3 or MgOH2, right? So these makes the whole stomach more basic. They are antacids. So this is used to decrease acidity of stomach. Anti-allergic, what they do is they stops the allergy actually, right? Allergic reaction. So if you see, both are independent, doesn't matter, right? Increase or decrease in basicity is independent of allergic reaction. But if you talk about antihistamine, right, what it does is, this is responsible, in fact, two antihistamine drugs are responsible for histamine control, and this histamine has two functions. One is again preparation of HCl and pepsin in the stomach. Also, histamine is responsible for allergic response to pollens. Now if you see, if you take antihistamine and antacid, there is a interference, because antacid is involved in decreasing of acidity of stomach. Antihistamine also decreasing acidity of stomach, right? Because it controls the production of HCl and pepsin. And antacid is also interfering with HCl and pepsin. So antacid will interfere with histamines. Let's talk about anti-allergic and histamines. Anti-allergic is again, it is stopping the controlling the allergic response of the pollens. Antihistamine also does the same thing. So both are doing the same thing, they will interfere obviously, right? As long as two people are not doing same thing, they won't interfere. But if two people are doing the same thing, they will interfere. Same thing here. Antacid and anti-allergic, they are doing two different things, right? So they are not interfering with each other. But antacid is interfering with antihistamines because they are doing same thing. Anti-allergic is also interfering with antihistamine because they are doing same thing. Low levels of noradrenaline is cause of depression. What are the types of drugs used to cure this problem? So sometimes people get depressed, right? So this lady is depressed, lonely, and to get rid of this, we use antidepressant. This is antidepressant drugs are used. correct, to counter depression. And these drugs, what they do is, we've explained this, they inhibit enzymes that causes degradation of my neurotransmitter, right? We have explained this because most of the enzymes does nothing but inhibit. They inhibit enzymes that degrade neurotransmitters, right? For example, this is my noradrenaline, this is my neurotransmitter. So once it inhibits the enzymes which degrade this particular chemical noradrenaline, body will produce more and more noradrenaline if you eat good food, and you'll not be depressed, right? So slowly the patient becomes better. So there are two drugs the question is asking for is iproniazid. You need to learn these names, and phenylcycline. They are the two drugs which are used in the market. The next is, what is meant by broad spectrum antibiotic? So we have told that broad spectrum are the one which are effective against both gram positive and gram negative bacteria. In fact, any bacteria can be classified as gram positive or negative, right, based on whether it can take the color of the gram thing. We have explained that, correct? So if a particular drug is effective against both gram positive and gram negative bacteria, that means that is effective against all the bacteria, correct? So gram positive, they are strained by dark blue gram staining, but the gram negative, they cannot be strained by this gram staining because they cannot retain the crystal violet strain, correct? So that is the broad spectrum antibiotics. Example I can give is this guy, chloramphenicol. This is my broad spectrum antibiotic. This is used for treatment of typhoid, dysentery, fever, pneumonia, meningitis, and also urinary infections, correct? So one medicine for so many diseases, so many bacteria. So it's a broad spectrum antibiotic. Also ampicillin and antacids, they are also my broad spectrum antibiotics. Thank you. Visit examfear.com to watch more videos, attempt free online tests, get free study materials, find tutors and mentors, and much more. Thanks once again.